since I'm that masochist, there was a point in time when I had a little more time. I was going to the gym twice a day, every day. I'm no athlete. I don't need to do that. Athletes do that.
Yeah.
Why? I was obsessed with just getting better, faster, stronger. It becomes obsessive.
Yeah.
Now I'm down to one because I'm out of time. But if I could, I'd be going 2 times a day, 3 times a day. It becomes obsessive, right? That hard work. This is a great way to relate it to, right? So lately, I think the last 2 weeks I haven't gone to the gym. When I don't go to the gym, I just feel weird. And it's just been lack of time. Like I literally wake up and just come to the office now just because I need more time, right? So what I was telling my wife is I feel like since I like going to sleep in pain, sore. I like when I wake up and I'm just like all sore and beat up. I like that. And it's like, it's that same masochism that I like when I'm stressed out. It is the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But most people, when they're sore, they hate it because they can't walk. You feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I like that.
So notice how he's talking about that same masochism. You know, he likes that feeling when he goes to work and when he goes to the gym, right? And he's all beat up. He comes back sore because he can actually feel the work that he's put in, right? It's like the physical manifestation of the work that he's put in. He can actually feel it in his body, and he likes that. Okay, notice how he has this energy. So this is what I tell you, ladies, right? Males are pretty much, I mean, they're all the same. The XY chromosome. Okay, this is the difference. Okay, these traits and characteristics, this is the difference. All right. So notice how he has all of that energy. He has that propensity for pain, that, oh, I like this pain, right? He has that, the same thing that all these other males has. But how does he direct that? Okay, is he directing, does it sound like he's directing that towards harassing women, putting hands on women, insulting women, blaming women for everything? No. All of that energy, that XY energy, okay, all of that energy, guess what he does? He outputs at the gym. He outputs at the gym, okay? He outputs by looking outwards, looking at all these other males that are making what he wants to be making or that are doing what he wants to be doing, and he unleashes on them. He goes to work early in the morning and he says to himself, okay, how do I get to that level? Because that's where I'm trying to be. I'm not trying to be looked down on by these males that are already up there. I need to get there myself. So that's where he puts all of that energy. Competing with other men, not competing with women. He doesn't spend his time worried about what a woman is doing, trying to compete with a woman, being jealous of the woman. No. He looks at himself. He competes with himself. Okay. And looks at other men and competes with other men and demolishes them. That's a real man. Okay. A real man does not look at women and then try to harass women and then try to compete with women. That is either a man that's gay, a male that's gay, okay, or trash. Either way, he's trash for the streets. He's not worth our time. You look right past him. You keep moving. It's disgusting behavior. It's foul behavior. Okay. This is a real man. This is a man that can lead. Okay. This is a man that can lead. Because he looks at these other men and he says to himself, how can I demolish these men? How can I get to that point? How can I get to that level? And that's where his output goes. That's where his energy goes.
Discomfort. And it might be because I know that it's molding me. It's changing me. You know, same thing with the discomfort of working hard, of the stress. I know it's changing me. It is molding me into becoming somebody different. I have completely derailed from the point of the problem at the end of the day is I think men are still boys and not trying to become men, right? And so women end up with subpar men that are a bunch of whiny babies.
But here you have it. He says it. He is telling y'all they are boys. They're trash. Yeah, here you come all desperate. And if you're going in there all desperate and stuff, then you're on that same time. And so you got some work to do yourself. Right? Hola, 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 mis amores, ¿cómo están? ¿Cómo están haciendo? Espero que estén teniendo un muy buen día y también un muy buen semana o comienzo de semana, ¿ok? Hoy es lunes. Si van a estar haciendo algo interesante esta semana, déjenme en los comments below. Hi, my loves. How are you doing today? So hope you're having a good day or morning and start of your week. So y'all, I'm back with another video, and this one is such an interesting perspective, I feel like, because in this video we're going to be taking a look at the 1%ers. I love this part, like taking a look at the one percenters. It's actually, you can go as far as 10%, ladies. So, but you can't go any further down. Any further down, there is no further down. It's like looking at the male population from the perspective of, okay, you're either doing well financially or you're not. Okay. So when I say you can go as far as 10%, that means you can look for a male that's within the 1 to 10% population. Um, and the way you know that is, well, again, like I tell you in all my videos, he needs to make a minimum of $180,000 a year.
Fix, but I can tell you from the male side, they're not bringing anything to the table, right? Men are complainers nowadays. Kind of like that pointing fingers that I was telling you. It's complaining around oh, it's because I'm brown, it's because I'm black, it's because I'm poor, it's because of the women, it's because of them. It's all of this finger pointing instead of looking at yourself.
I say it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I make this content for ladies that want to see and understand this subset of the population a little bit more. But really, my biggest advice and most given recommendation to ladies is to not go out looking for males at all, just to leave males alone. You know what I mean? And like, if you stumble upon one, then great. But it's just not worth going out and looking for these males. It's because you have a life to live, you know what I mean? And there's just too many junk in the pile. There's too many junk in the pile. So that's my biggest advice to ladies. If he doesn't make at least a minimum of $180,000 a year, he doesn't have a prayer. He doesn't have a prayer in hell of being a part of no 10%. Okay. He's just a regular dude. All right. Like, cause 180K, that's really not that hard to do, especially if you're a male, you know, like, cause this is a patriarchy. Okay. The whole thing was built by and for males for their own comfort. So if he can't even amass a certain amount of income, that is not a male that's a part of no 1 to 10%. He doesn't have a dream in hell of being a part of the 1 to 10% if he doesn't make that income. Okay. So that's a very, very easy way to start with, as far as trying to figure out who is a part of that 1 to 10%. And if you're trying to find a 1%er among a pool of 10% of the top 10% of high earning income males, because essentially that's what it boils down to. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a 1%er, but all you have to work with is a pool of the top 10% earning men, okay? Men that earn in the top 10% bracket. And to be in the top 10% bracket, the male has to earn a minimum of $180,000 a year. They have to have a minimum net worth of $220,000 a year in order to be a part of the 10% income earners. Okay, so among the 10% income earners, what you're then trying to do is find a 1%er. There's a lot of males that make the income of a 1%er male, but they're not part of the 1%. Okay. A 1%er doesn't just have the income. A 1%er has the income, the mindset, the values, the morals, the ethics, and most importantly, the generosity. Okay. Like, you have a credit card. You'll be able to do whatever you want when you're dealing with a 1%er. Okay. Now keep in mind, a 1%er, they're all different as far as what they might like in a woman. So, but most of the time they're not going to just go with anybody, right? So you have to be leveled up. Income is the easiest, most basic level. Okay. Income is the easiest, most basic level. All right. Like, that's the easiest thing. If you have the income, if you have the net worth, then all that means is that, okay, maybe we'll pay attention to you to do the work or the more in-depth work necessary to try and see if you're worth our time. Okay. That's it. That's all the income gets. That's all the income gets them. Okay. Because otherwise, because what you don't want to do is get stuck with a male that has a lot of money, but he's like super weird, or he's making you do weird things, or he will assuse you. No. Okay. That's not a part of a 1% male category. All right. That's not the 1% that we're looking for. Okay. We're looking for males that are well-rounded. Okay. And we start with the finances, because that's a really, really good and easy way of disqualifying, trash from potential real men. Okay. So, income is first. So you can go up to 10%. Anything above 10%, they're all the same. There is no like, oh, then there's the 20% of men. There's nothing like that. Okay. It's 1 to 10%, and that's it. After that, if they don't make, like I said, if they don't make a minimum of at least 180K, which, ladies, is literally the minimum. Like, that's the minimum, because especially with inflation, and if they're wanting to have kids, if they have a home, now they have you that they'll have to take care of, and I mean, all that stuff, you gotta have money, okay? Otherwise, that lady, that woman will suffer, okay? Then the second thing is they have to be generous. We can't do anything with a male that's not generous, okay? I hear horror stories of women that have married wealthy men, and then those men, for example, will go out, buy themselves a car, a Lamborghini one day, come back to the house, and the woman is sitting there like, did you just get yourself a whole Lamborghini? Well, there's not really an issue with that because it's his money, so no one cares. The challenge is she couldn't go out and get herself a Lamborghini. She could not go out and do the same thing. Okay, so that means that that male has too much of a restriction on those funds. Okay, so he pays for the essentials, he pays for all the bills, but if she wanted to go out and just get herself a car, she couldn't just go out and get herself a car, right? If she wanted to go out and just, go shopping and splurge, she couldn't just go out, go shopping and splurge. So that male has too much of a handle and too much of a restriction on those finances. He's AKA not generous enough. So he has to be generous. Okay. He has to be generous. There's no other way around that. Okay. As you go further down the percentile rank, okay, you're going to be shuffling through a lot more crap to get to a real man, to get to a well-rounded man. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. And ladies, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're talking about the rest of your life here. We're not talking about, oh, let me just have, you're looking for someone that you want to build a whole life with. Okay, that's not something that you should take lightly. That's something that you should understand. If that's what you're looking for, if that's what it would take for it to work, okay, then that's like looking for a needle in a haystack, y'all. And so the further down the percentile rank you get, the more crap you're having to shuffle through, because they might check the income box, they might check the network box, but then you find out they're into some like super weird fetishes or something. You know what I mean? So, or you find out they're not generous. Okay, they still want you to work like a Hebrew slave. They still want to try to tell you what to do. And that's not going to work for the lifestyle that we need. I mean, we can live a way better lifestyle by ourselves, than with this male, despite the amount of money he makes. And that's the problem. You know what I mean? Like we can be, and when I say lifestyle, that's everything, right? Not just the money. That's our freedom, have our sanity, have our mental health, have our safety. I have to worry about some dude, do everything for ourselves as opposed to worrying about, oh, I got to, wash his clothes or clean after him or worry about what he's doing. You know what I mean? So the lifestyle is not better. It actually deteriorates. So when you're thinking about, okay, what would make sense for me, partner wise, you have to make sure that your lifestyle would be significantly improved. If it's just a little bit improved, it's not going to be worth it because you're giving up your freedom. Okay. And that's a lot. I mean, honestly, so it's not going to be worth it. So it has to be significantly improved in every single area. Okay. So, then we have to start taking a look at character. We have to start taking a look at what their character is, what their purpose is, what their values is. Once we've checked all the foundational easiest boxes, right? How much do they make? What's their network? And are they generous? Those are the easiest boxes. Okay. If they don't have those things, don't waste your time. Those things take about 1 to 2 weeks. And ladies, because ladies will get trapped in marriages all the time because the male will fake it. Okay, the male will fake it till he makes it. So that's why I always recommend to ladies, hey, the evaluation process should be a minimum of 1 to 2 years. Okay, and before you decide to trap yourself in a marriage with him, all right, you need to put that in a contract somewhere where you have a minimum amount of allowance, a minimum amount of income that's coming to you. All right. And he should be okay signing that because honestly, it's a safety measure for women. For ladies, it's a safety measure for you. Okay. So anyway, we'll go into all of that stuff in another video. But now we're looking at character, values, morals, ethics. Okay. We want to see what this man is coming with. Okay. When it comes to these categories. All right. And these are the most foundational, fundamental categories. This is really what's going to be the hardest piece for you to find.
With that, right? Like and I've told you, not everybody has to be that way. You don't have to be that way, but you cannot then complain. Why don't I have money? It's not fair that the greedy boss has all the money. You cannot complain. It's the women because they're opportunistic or hypergamous, like you said, right? Hypergamous? Yes. It's the women. You cannot say that if you're not the one putting in the work. Yeah. If you don't want to level up, if you don't want to put in the work in business and personal development and talking to girls and learning how to build strong relationships, if you don't want to put in the work in that, don't complain about that. Yeah. That's all it is, right? That's all it is. But if you do, there is no secret sauce. There is nobody to blame. Yeah. None of that. It's you. And these podcasts, and I was telling you this before, all these podcasts, all this self-help, all of this stuff, we can summarize all of it to one thing. It's just hard work. Yeah. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut to looking good. There is no shortcut to a good body, to being athletic, to getting a D1 scholarship. There is no shortcut to any of it. It is hard work. It's much easier to blame somebody than to think, man, I got to put in hours of work. It is my fault. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what differentiates those select few men that end up being successful, like you guys, like me, like any other business guy, right? Because I don't look anywhere else. I don't blame my wife. I don't blame women. I don't blame my parents. I don't blame my skin tone color. I asked my wife, this is the one thing where we would always discuss, right? The skin tone color thing. I have never blamed my skin tone. Have I experienced racism? Yeah, of course. Every color. I'm sure you guys have experienced racism. Never have I blamed my skin tone color. I'm more successful than 99% of men, including white males. Did I have to work a little harder? Maybe. That made me tougher, right? Same thing with you guys. It is the blaming that's the problem, right? Always look here. It's always here. Almost always it's gonna be here. When you fix this up, almost all your problems will be aligned, you know? But as a man, it's right here. That's it. And as a man, it takes a man to humble yourself and own up to that. Yeah. Be like, yo, you know what? My social skills are trash. Maybe that's why women play me. Yo, you know what? My relationship skills are trash. Maybe that's why she keeps going off with Chad or XYZ. Right? It's me. Yeah. I F that up. Yeah.
So y'all, you know, this is a good example of what a 1%er sounds like, what a 1%er looks like. And if you're trying to find a 1%er among a pool of 10% of the top 10% of high earning income males, because essentially that's what it boils down to. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a 1%er, but all you have to work with is a pool of the top 10% earning men, okay? Men that earn in the top 10% bracket. And to be in the top 10% bracket, the male has to earn a minimum of $180,000 a year. They have to have a minimum network of $220,000 a year in order to be a part of the 10% income earners. Okay, so among the 10% income earners, what you're then trying to do is find a 1%er. Okay, a 1%er doesn't just have the income. A 1%er has the income, the mindset, the values, the morals, the ethics, and most importantly, the generosity. Okay, like you have a credit card, you'll be able to do whatever you want when you're dealing with a 1%er. Okay, now keep in mind, a 1%er, you know, they're all different as far as what they might like in a woman. You know, so but most of the time they're not going to just go with anybody, right? So you have to be leveled up. And that's why I say, look, live life for yourself. Don't live life chasing a man, okay? That's pathetic. Start with you. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. The same attributes that we're looking for in the 1%er, those are the same attributes that we should literally have naturally, as easily as we breathe. Okay, y'all, so I forgot again. So please go ahead and smash that like button for me. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me, all right? And leave it in the comments below. Let me know what it is that you think. What are your thoughts on this particular subject, all right? And I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.